what it is, y'all? What's up? It's me, Corrosive, and I'm back at it again with some more Mecha Break. And I'm gonna be honest, I think I found the real joy in this game in this game mode that I found, which is called Mesh Mech. Now I'll give you guys a brief summary of Mesh Mech while I sortie and get used to as I get acclimated to the map. Right, Mesh Mech is basically where you're gonna find all your mods, all your paint, um, weapons, everything for your mech. You're gonna find it in Mesh. And so and I would say too, if you're an OG Gundam fan, Mesh Mech is kind of where you're gonna spend a lot of your time. I feel like Mesh Mech is gonna be the crack of this game. Like, it is so chaotic in just in an enjoyable way. The madness, the chaos, the potential of being raided by enemy players. I learned that later on when I do co-op, that there are other players, but this solo variation that I'm doing, it's all free-for-all. So if you do run into other players, but that I don't, fortunately, in this run, because this one is my first run, you're basically fighting them by yourself, right? But basically the goal of Mesh Mech is to you kill like these, or you destroy these specific POIs. Destroying the correct POI, right, will drop loot, and then that loot is varying depending on what you find in the box. I feel like the airships, and depending on the monster type, they give you the best chance of getting purple and gold, right? But and I'm not quite sure just yet if you play solo you get higher chances of purple, or like higher chances of like better loot. But this is my first run, and it was a solo run, and I struck purple in it, so I felt very lucky. I wanted to definitely complete the mission here. I also learned throughout my adventures of playing this for like 4 hours that I think the longer you stay in, because there's like objectives obviously that you have to get to, and extraction points that are available for you when they're obviously ready to be activated to mess with, right? And for me, starting out, I feel like if you're new to Mesh Mech and you don't have a squad, you might want to get out at extraction point A, because once the other players start getting their areas cleared and they start headhunting, shit gets sticky very fast, very fast. But again, like, this is my first run, and I was just trying to get my feet wet. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just trying to get used to what this mode in particular has to offer. I cannot express enough how awesome this game mode is, simply because it's so lore accurate to what Gundam is, not only as like, I think, a game, but as an anime. They tie it in so beautifully. Like, again, you're attacking ships that, again, if you watch the anime, are equivalent to like the spaceships, and the battles are just so reminiscent of what you grew up on watching the anime. It was a great time through and through, regardless of some adversity that I found, as you'll see later on in this, right? But yeah, the real, like, I don't know, the real like excitement, the real joy, the real oomph in this game mode, I have to say, is the high you get from trying to keep your loot. I almost think that Rust players would play very well in this game mode because of how it operates. It's all about grabbing your loot. Some mechs are so good that they don't really need their squad so much to finish their mission, which is a little unfortunate. I feel like for my mech in particular, I'm kind of forced into the team play unless I'm playing scavenger, right? But it's very unlikely for me right now to want to play scavenger, because, again, if I'm playing in a group setting, most players play with their teammates, right? Unless they're stragglers, right? And I feel like the solos are for when I have gotten the mods I need, the mods I want from this game mode, to where I can be kind of like a standalone kind of guy, which I will say, from all the mods that I've gotten so far, like, I feel like they're favoring specific mech types. I haven't really found one that really favors my mech too much. Like, I have gotten some purple movement speed like mods, but they reduce another variation of movement for my mech. I feel like is very important. Like, okay, so say you get a mod that increases your air mobility, right? But it decreases your ground mobility. Well, it's like 95% of the time you're kind of trying to be aerial adjacent to avoid some of these more intense fights, right? But it's unfortunate too because you're gonna run out of stamina at some point, so you have to also kind of be mobile on the ground too. So it's like, where are you going to leave that hole for you to potentially get beat up? You know what I mean? And I'm just not trying to leave that hole, especially when it comes to escapes. Being a sniper, you kind of want to have really smooth escapes. Maybe with more mods, I'll start experimenting a little bit more on which is better to have, aerial or ground evasion, right? But yeah, you know, and then again, like, you can get, like, when it comes to weapons too, you can get like gold weapons. I don't know if there are gold mods, but I know that there are gold weapons. I was lucky enough to get a gold sniper in one of my runs. But the weapons you get in the mesh mech, you have to get like specific ammo for that weapon that you can also get in mesh mech too. You just have to find, again, the right adjacent loot item, and hopefully you don't get jumped on the way, because if you die, you lose all the stuff you struggled and fought to get. And again, that's where the third party really starts playing into effect. You really do start seeing the game, this game mode really start opening up, because again, third partying can get really fun, can get really exciting when you're with a coordinated team. I was not fortunate enough. I was kind of on the receiving end, and in the last game I'll show you guys, you'll see how I had to clutch it up to keep what I want. You know what I'm saying? Keep what I won. So, you know, again, I said it in my last video, but this game is really like cracking a school zone. Like, if you're a mech enjoyer, if you're a battle royale enjoyer, and you like the kind of loot shooter, like, this game might just be home for you, man. Like, it's so great. You just have to find your mech, you know, and if they don't have a mech for you, you know, you might be out of luck. But there are a lot of good options, in my opinion. Though I was fortunate enough to find mine kind of immediately, being Narukami, but you know, some people might be having a harder time. I have only found probably one support mech player, well, two, okay, and one of them griefed me, okay. I had to struggle so hard because there's a revival system in the game, right? Just in case your teammates get down, you have an opportunity to revive one of your teammates for every 5 minutes or 4 minutes. And it might not, 4 minutes might not seem like a long time, but when you're being bombarded by AI and players that know how to hunt very well, 4 minutes seems like hell. But again, my mech is very good at stealth, so it's not too hard for me to mount a comeback. It's just, in the instance I'm thinking of in particular, the medic was coming to heal me or maybe troll me. I'm not quite sure, because her heal range, she obviously has the one Gundam mech I'm thinking of, she can throw a bubble on you, and this bubble heals you over time, right? And she doesn't have to be directly on you for her to cast it upon you, right? But she ran straight into me as I'm camouflaged, goes behind me, right? And I get shot in place of her. And I'm over here like, man, what the fuck is going on, you know? And we end up losing that run because of it. I was so close to scraping it back and getting my teammates back on the board to where we could have probably gotten a successful evac. But, you know, sometimes it's just not in the cards, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But I will say my first solo run did fill me with a lot of, like, again, positive endorphins for this game mode, and my co-op runs just gave me that fire to really grind this game mode out in particular, especially because, like, again, I feel like this game mode, if the mods work in PvP, this game mode is going to be integral for those big PvP players. I'm almost drawn to Destiny, because in Destiny you have to unlock, or you have to acquire specific like weapons that are really good in PvP to have a functional PvP session, right? And I feel like this in Mecha Break as a gamer is just pulling from all these positive aspects from these other games that have come before them and culminating it into this big ball of just like just good shit, you know what I'm saying? Again, cracking the school zone. As soon as you get in, as soon as it sinks your teeth, as soon as you get a little nibble, you just need to come back for more, bro. It's crazy. Again, I'm a big mech fan, so this shit was like, this shit hits me hard. I'm not gonna say it's like game of the year, but with, again, more mechs dropping, good collabs, this game could be a good contender, potentially, right? Depending on how big the fan base is. But yeah, again, so far this game has been a blast. It's only day 2, bro, and it's insane. I don't even get too mad about the losses, to be honest, when it comes to Mesh Mech, because I know I just have to get back in there and try to grab my loot. Sometimes, you know, this game mode in particular is going to force you not to be a team player. Like, you're going to have to prioritize your life in some of these situations. And one of them, again, in the next game I'm going to show you guys, or the last game I'm going to show you guys, is going to definitely highlight that in a big way. But yeah, the map in and of itself is huge, gigantic. I get kind of nervous in big maps like this because I have Zorro syndrome, right? So I get lost very fucking easily, and if I'm not in a party with people that I can talk to and that can help direct my Zorro mentality, I'll just wander off and I'll end up in Narnia while they're fucking in, you know, in the game getting jumped or something, and they need my support, right? I'll just, you know, be off doing my own goddamn thing, chilling and, you know, vibing, you know, soaking up the scenery, collecting up all my material type shit. So it can get kind of daunting for me in that regard, but I didn't really I did have that problem in my first 2 co-op games. I'm not gonna lie. I ended up kind of, again, just not watching my map. I feel like for my solo players out there, just to be wary, because if you're not watching your map and your team is just constantly on the move, you know what I mean, you're gonna get left behind, and it's gonna be hard to kind of track them down, especially if they get picked off. You're gonna be like, what the fuck happened? Where did everybody go? And you know what, it can be quite the hazardous journey, right? But yeah. Again, right now, it's just waiting for the evacuations to hit, which they do take a long time to come out. Like, not long as in like egregiously long, but like long in the sense of they give you enough time to loot and do something else on the side, right? So if you want to loot, get some good stuff, and then you're not satisfied with all that good stuff and your inventory is full, they'll give you an opportunity, or the time allotted gives you an opportunity to maybe potentially loot another area and a half, and then, you know, all right, it's time to go, you know what I'm saying? Depending on where the extraction point is, it tends to be near a place that you can loot to, so you could potentially roam around, find an extraction point, chill out at that extraction point, loot that spot, hopefully not get jumped, or kill the enemies in the opposing area, depending on how you like to play, right? And, you know, get out with all your treasure, right? With all your booty, and fucking, you know, dip out. Again, there's so many different play styles that this game mode in and of itself supports, and the fact that there are like groups that you can join, right? And if certain groups are just made to just mesh mech, like, bro, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I could see this being like compy, this game mode in itself being really compy, and teams just like figuring out strats and shit, And like again, like I'm thinking of like a team that just strictly pirates people, you know what I'm saying? They're just all about the gank, jacking other people's shit and dipping out, you know what I'm saying? It could potentially be so fucking fire, you know what I'm saying? It's already pretty fire as is. My only curiosity is, how do you elevate a game mode like this? Different maps, you know, more intense POIs, maybe. Like you already have environmental hazards with the there's like this storm that happens that's kind of like the storm in Apex. You're in it and you lose health over time, right? But again, they could easily add like active landscapes like volcanoes going off, you know. It could rain and thunder and lightning could strike, you know what I'm saying? Higher, like they could mess up the chances to where it's highly more likely that they don't strike mechs and stuff like that, you know. But it all depends on what the devs decided, you know, and you know they can't go wrong in my opinion. As I get my 1 kill, right? But again, yeah, like you see, as I get to the extraction point, you know, the real problem isn't really the AI, it's really the players jumping you while you're trying to do something else, right? So knocking the players out the way will tend to lead you to a smoother sail. And as you guys see, I get my victory, I get my dub. But not every story continues to be so sweet, you know. Loss after loss after loss into another. Undeterred by my losses, I sortie again, only to look for more loot. Again, I want to have a very good Narukami. I want to figure out what are the best builds for Narukami. I hope that there are some sniper mods that either increases damage on shields, you know, something akin to piercing damage, you know what I'm saying, where shields don't stop it. Maybe better tracking on aerial opponents, because that aerial evasion does fuck up snipers in a heavy way. I do believe I did see something of that like in a blue mod that I found, but again, I'm not 100% sure. And I think the drawback really turned me off from the option. Again, every mod has a drawback that's kind of like counter, like a very direct counter to what it's buffing. So I cannot emphasize enough the specifically picking your mods very carefully. Like leaning in on one side will definitely and guarantee make you vulnerable in another. So I feel like I want, because I'm a perfectionist, right? I want to have all the options in front of me so I can just mix and match different stuff to really again experiment to see, like, does this work? How bad does this function? You know what I'm saying? But again, with time, I already know this is probably gonna be the game mode that I spam like every day for at least 3 hours. Even this recording was like roughly 4 hours, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, after I'm done with this voiceover, I'm going back for more because I need to get more purple mods, bro. Out of this whole run, I can say the only thing that I got for my mech in particular was a gold sniper that I don't have ammo for. So I have I have to get something, you know what I mean? I have to feel like I walked away with something. But this game in and of itself gave me so much hype, especially on how it ended, because again, man, the battles are like the sprinkles on top of the cake, you know what I'm saying? On some quality ass icing. None of that I almost said Fent, but there's this specific type of icing that I'm thinking of that's all cosmetic. It doesn't taste good at all, but and it starts with an F. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's gonna bother me. But anyway, you know, just when I enter a POI, right, the things that I focus on primarily are the turrets, because those things can get kind of annoying, and then obviously the big monsters that that are kind of like important. Look, and I strike gold in this one, so you know it's time to lace up. I cannot, I will not, I shall not fail, because I have gold in my backpack. I got sunshine in my pocket, and I got that good soul. I forgot the song, but I got sunshine in my pocket off that gold, so I'm definitely not trying to lose. Okay, I'm trying to bring all this loot back home. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back to the ship. As I say that, a ship descends, and you know, I feel like Narukami is really good at shooting ships down. Again, so that's why I kind of want to get really good anti-aerial mods, because those aerial Gundams hunt Narukami with a prejudice, and if I can get some stuff to kind of counter them, I feel like that'll be very good for my game plan as a Narukami in general, right? Again, if they're my natural predator, being able to hunt them will make me unstoppable in my mind, right? So yeah, there was also like some crazy like mods where it's like, oh, reduce physical damage, but you increase your damage to ballistic. Well, again, as I said in my last video, every Gundam has an inherent weakness, and if I say, okay, yeah, like I'm just gonna reduce my physical damage and I decrease my resistance to ballistic, knowing that my Gundam's weak to ballistic, it's like now I'm making a an effective move super effective or hyper effective. It's like that's not happening. It's not conducive, you know what I mean? So yeah, again, just shooting the ships down. Again, I like to focus the ships because those in my experience tend to give me the best yield for like high loot most of the time. So you know, every time I see them, I'm shooting them down. And look, I got and it had a little gun for me too. If you don't like the stuff that you got from the run too, guys, or you're not looking for any purple mods, you can just pick up the guns and sell them in the store, and you get like some sort of blue currency. I can't remember what it goes for, but there are some benefits too, and you can auction the stuff that you get off too. You can auction the stuff to other players, bro. This game has it all. I'm thinking of like Grand Chase, or not Grand Chase, RuneScape, in the exchange area where people will go and just sell the extra stuff that they find and all this shit for varying prices and stuff like that. Like, this game has it all, bro. Like, chef's kiss. Like, for a mech anime, or for a mech game, this has a lot in it to satisfy the player base. Like, there's no, like, in my mind, there's no way to hate on it unless you're just a hater. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Don't get me wrong, like, I don't like how it with Narukami, if I use my regular shot, as you guys saw there, it decamouflages me, when I feel like that shouldn't be the case. I feel like, in general, like, when I shoot my gun, I shouldn't be camouflaged, or I should just stay camouflaged perma. And I feel like, again, with the sensory types, that's just what makes them, like, viable, right? They can see me even when I'm camouflaged, right? So, you know, I don't know how you would counteract it, because, like, I think the drones stay up forever if you don't shoot them. So maybe that's the caveat, is that when I shoot, I become uncamouflaged, right? But my camouflage could potentially just last forever if no one focuses me, which is, again, kind of nice. But again, a sniper's wet dream. All right, it's a sniper's wet dream. I just want my sniper to hurt a little bit more, and my original understanding was correct, that if I do send out drones, their shots are real and they do hurt, but maybe not as much as I would hope. You know, I feel like with the charge shot, I only have 3, right? Unless there are mods to give me more of the charge shot, I just want my charge shot to do a little bit more, because being a sniper, I should take off your shield in 1 shot, I should almost kill you in 2 shots, and then the 3rd shot should just guarantee kill you, right? In my PvP experience, outside of Mesh Mech, I have realized that if I land 2 of my 3 charge shots, and I let it charge all the way, I'll either get the assist or I'll get the kill, guaranteed. But In some situations, you know, you don't really have a lot of time, and if they're fast moving, you know, it's hard to track them. It's hard to trace them, and then the auto aim messes up. The auto aim is kind of finicky. That's probably my one gripe, is sometimes that when I want to shoot, like, say, especially in mech, when players are hiding behind like the bots, I find it a little irritating how my lock-on will walk onto the bot in front of the player, or the player running like behind the bot, and it won't like keep tracing the player. It'll just kind of like switch on and off, and then they'll have to reset to lock onto the player. It's just more convoluted stuff to where it makes it challenging to aim correctly, right? But at the same time, you know, as soon as they get out of the cover, you know, and you say you're like me and you're trying to wean off of the aim assist function, right? You can trace them and shoot them. I have done it in a couple of games, but it's not easy, especially when they have really good mobility. I'm thinking of, like, I keep calling him Starscream in my head because it transforms into a jet and just flies off, but it's not Starscream. It's like a, I forget the name of it, but it's like the best mech for beginners. I just can't remember the name of it to save my life. I think it's like Valkyrie or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, you know. I find another purple box, bro. Like, this run is looking pretty good right now. Like, I can't hate on it. I just, at this point, like, it's starting to weigh on my mind that I have to start looking for the exit. You know, all of a sudden it's like, can we get much higher? So high. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, I'm just like, man, I'm probably at the top of it. You know, you can't really carry too many things in the mech function, which is fine. You know, I don't really mind that you can't carry that much. It's just that, you know, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. And it's time to split like a banana peel. You feel me? So I got all this stuff. I'm trying to look for the exit. My teammate is also understanding that it might be time to skedaddle as well. I'm trying to learn how to ping, but the buttons that they tell you that are displayed on my screen right now to do all these actions, some of them are inaccurate. Like, I tried my scroll wheel to ping, didn't work. I tried the weird button that they said for the map, but you could just press M and get mapped as well. So I'm just like, why is that there if it's just a inaccurate statement, you know what I mean? And so yeah. I will say though that it is kind of hard for me to discern where or like who the enemy is. You know, I gotta like really gotta pay attention to the names, because they will show you the names. Like, as you guys see, like, there are names, right? I'm just trying to pick them off away from my teammates. It's really like my main goal, my main target. But again, like, in my opinion, at this point, because I have a lot of good loot, right? I need to be looking for the exit, because I'm not trying to go into like a big fight and die, right? I feel like for those people who are just looking for the PvP option, because honestly, why wouldn't you? If you don't loot, you could just find players that do loot, kill them, right, and then take their loot, right? It just makes more sense that way. But right now, the way I'm playing to find my own stuff and get out with it, you know, work on the extraction aspect and the looting aspect, right, before I start really diving too hard into the PvP, especially when I don't have my own squad where I can really communicate with them on targets. Like, it just doesn't seem like it'll be easy to do it with randoms. So y'all see me, I'm trying to break fast like Shoni to the door, you know what I'm saying? I see it. I'm hoping that I'm the only one there. It's still on a cooldown, you know what I'm saying, before you can even activate it. So I'm really just hoping that it's vacant, man. I'm really hoping that it's vacant. And, you know, they try to leave all these obstacles in my way, and honestly, I'm not even gonna waste time on it. I don't need any of the stuff they're gonna drop. I gotta go, you know what I'm saying? got all this good stuff in my, got all this good stuff on me. I don't need no more, man. I don't need no more. Always keep your health somewhat high though. There are, and this is, I wish they had left in this mode in particular. I wish they would have left like stations to where you could heal, maybe like a one-time use, just random throughout the map, because having to like craft or buy your own like healing stations, in my opinion, is fucking insane, dude. Like your first runs are like literally do or die, and it's challenging. But those people who have like deep pockets, they're just gonna just buy, whale out, just buying the recovery stuff and then going headhunting. You know what I mean? So you know there are ways to do it, but like you have to grind to get to there if you're doing it like the freeway, the honest way, in my opinion. But yeah, like it's not you know, it's not too hard. You know, it can get a little it can get a little sticky. It can get a little sticky though. As I near my exit, I just hear like just the like music playing. I'm hearing the bells ringing. You know, I'm hearing the birds singing. You know, I'm just like, yes, I'm gonna get out of here safe and sound, easy peasy lemon squeezy woohoo. You know what I'm saying? Look, my extraction, yes. And then all of a sudden, look, they're camping. They're camping. Oh my god. No way. There are players already trying to camp the exits. No, day 2, like that. Look, I'm trying to assess how many people there are. They already found me, bro. I'm thinking, okay, maybe if it was one, but there are 2 of them, and one of them is a sensory type, my mortal enemy. So now I gotta trying to play it safe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can trick them and still get out the door. You know what I'm saying? But no, they are puppy guarding that thing up the ass, man. Up the ass, bro. It's so stressful. It's so stressful in this small ass space too. I'm tripping, bro. I'm tripping. I'm just like, for the love of God. Look. And they just holding it. They just holding it. And I'm like, man, I gotta abort mission. You're not gonna get Mike loot, bro. Especially that I got that gold thing on me. I don't even know what it do, but I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to see what it do in my inventory. You feel me? Not in yours. So I back up. I'm really trying to just assess the situation here, man. Like, I'm thinking, do I look for extraction B? Because A looks like a trap. It looks like a big old booby trap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have like this cargo drop thing, but I think it's gonna drop the cargo, not take it away. Drop more cargo, not take it away. And I get spotted again, bro. I gotta make a last ditch effort. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try do something a little risque. Look. Stealth. All right, we're back in there. We're breaking fast like Shoney, bro. Look. Juked him. Juked his ass. Where are you looking? I know he saw me there. But guess what? It's too late. I'm out. This game is crazy. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next dose. Peace.